I'm going to do one last. We're going to end up on a happy note, just because why not? I'm going to throw a little quick video in here because I thought this is like a 10-second video, but just we can all give a quick opinion. And I wanted to hear Rhett specifically because he's a little bit more new at this.
What do you think is the biggest misconception people have about your beliefs? And then after telling me that misconception, tell me what's like actually real.
So I'm going to start with you, Rhett, because you came into this fairly young, but you weren't. I know your family, obviously, you weren't raised at church like even I was and like the other two were. So what are the misconceptions you think either you had as atheist, because you said you kind of went back and forth as a kid, or that people at your school, because you mentioned that earlier, had about atheists that you, like the one thing or the two things that always came up that you would love to dispel?
Sure. I mean, the biggest thing that people always think about atheism is that it's like an ideology or that it has tenets or something. Like people think of it as like a thing, but it's not. There is no. It's just where you don't believe in God, and then everything beyond that is like some other stuff. It's like a TV channel in the same way that off is like a TV channel, or it's a hobby in the same way that not collecting stamps would be a hobby, right?
Yeah, it's a hair
So
color like bald is a hair color, right? I mean, yeah, I have no hair.
right. So
It doesn't
people
mean
always
I'm.
love to attack it from that point of view that it has that that it's like an organization or a group or it's whatever, but it's not. It's just one sentence. You don't believe in God, and then
Simple as that, right? Simple as that.
yeah. And
Yeah.
then the number one thing that people always talk to me about whenever they find out that I'm an atheist is the next question immediately is, well, are you like an emotionless monster? Like you're like a psychopath? You could kill and destroy people and like you wouldn't even
Yes.
care? You have no morals?
No
And that's like,
morals.
no, I feel bad when people get hurt, and that doesn't come from a belief or a disbelief in God.
Right. And it's not because I have a book that tells me I have to do something right or I go to hell. There's no
Would you all
consequence.
agree that empathy is actually the basis of morality? Or at least the
Yeah, I mean, I can see where you're going with that. We talked
parts of
about
it,
this
sure.
on the channel before when it talks to morality. I mean, I don't want people to suffer because I have empathy, right? If I didn't have any empathy at all, I mean, hitting with a hammer would not mean anything to me because what do I care, right? Or raping or killing or any of the other things that I don't do because I do have empathy. I don't want them to not physically suffer or mentally suffer, right? I mean, so yeah, I think you're onto something with that. Yeah. What about you, Larry? Is there anything else? What came up to you when you tell people you're atheist or have told people you're atheist?
misconceptions. Well, the one you hear, I think, the most of is, oh, well, you just believe in Satan. You want to worship the devil.
That's ridiculous.
And
Yeah,
that always,
they love to graft another belief onto you.
yeah, you have to believe in something.
You hate God.
You can't believe in nothing and say, well, I don't believe in supernatural things.
Right?
Yeah.
And I don't know how many times you have to explain it. And to be fair, it took me a little bit of time to understand this as well. The difference between I don't believe and I don't believe in supernatural things versus I believe there are no supernatural things. One is a belief that something doesn't exist. The other one is I don't believe. And the key part of it is belief or lack of belief.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the misconception. Like Rhett said perfectly, they want to ascribe some sort of controlling superpower to how
Right.
you got here, why you're acting this way, what motivates you, what acts upon your soul. And
Yeah.
when you don't believe you have a soul or don't believe that there's any supernatural activity affecting your life, that's just something that they can't understand. It's very difficult for them to understand.
I can't accept that you could believe nothing. Has to be one version of their coin or I always actually say this too. The Satanists and Muslims and Hindu and Satanists meaning people that actually truly believe there's a Satan and Hindus and all these other, they're all different sides of the same exact coin. You all believe in something, this supernatural being. It may be different from one another, but you're a lot closer to one another than you are with me, who doesn't believe any of that, but they don't want to see it that way. So like you said, they're like, you must be one of the sides of our little, Dungeons and Dragons sort of dice that has 10 sides or whatever the fuck that is. You know, no, I don't have any of those beliefs. They're all just equally nutty to me. You know, that's a very common. I always thought too is like it's Satan is like it's in the book that I've just told you I don't believe. If I don't believe in Jesus or in God, why would I believe in his ex-BFF, the devil? That makes no sense.
Don't
Very
get me
common.
wrong, but to me, Satan is the good guy in the book, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, I think that's really important to point out because I think Red had mentioned earlier you must hate God, or well, if you don't follow Jesus, then you follow Satan. And Mr. Scott's taking things out of context here, calling out Aaron Ra from praying to Satan. I listen to Aaron Ra, and if you actually listen to Aaron Ra as much as you pretend to be intellectual, you would know that Aaron Ra is a member of the Satanic Temple, which is the
is that where he's coming
version
from?
of Satanism. Yeah. Aaron Ra does not believe in any supernatural anything. I don't kick God off a throne. I don't declare myself God. You're just answering these questions for me. This is misconceptions.
The whole conversation.
Yeah. I don't kick God off a throne any more than I can kick Allah off a throne or Vishnu or Zeus or any of the other ones. And I have never found one place where I have declared myself as a God, because at this point, you know, it's just those types of things right there. They close down a conversation. And this is what I was talking earlier, when you can't have a conversation where we start from here, because some people say just the most batshit crazy things down here that are demonstrably false. And you can't even get a conversation started.
Well, there you have it.
Well, there's that famous. Well, you know, the Temple of Satan. Like you said, they don't believe in a literal Satan. Do you know what we call people who believe in a literal Satan? Christians.
All the Christians.
Right. The one person in the Bible who's responsible for the least amount of deaths, Satan. You believe it.
To be fair, Aaron Ra does look like he believes in Satan, but he just doesn't.
You're right.
Aaron Ra looks like he dated Satan's sister.
Yeah. He's an interesting dude. He's like, that's a choice. When you get up every morning, you put that little costume on. You, that's a choice, bro. But yes, I was like, when she said, or I said when GNX said that, I was like, I knew Aaron Ra. I generally familiar, but like, I don't think he's a Satanist by any means. But I didn't think about Satanic Temple. Not the same thing. The same word is in it, but not the same thing. Not at all. Which is unfortunate, because you've made now an assumption, and you've made this point to the world. You couldn't be more wrong. The Satanic Temple is not a Satanist, but you heard the word and you jumped, and we're going to go all the way back to the beginning, where people were jumping to conclusions about this shooter guy. You jumped to a conclusion based on no information whatsoever, but you have a lock solid information or conclusion. Same thing with Aaron Ra. You heard the word Satan. You went down this road in your head, because that's not at all what the case is. And you've concluded it, and you've told us, and you've told everybody else, it's false. It's just so false.
I will back this up, and this is where, because people aren't having the actual conversations, Aaron Ra did read a satanic prayer at some state assembly thing, but the reason he did it is to show the hypocrisy of the leading religious groups not allowing other religious groups equal time. The same thing happened in Pensacola, or just outside of Pensacola recently, a few years back, where they would allow people to come give invocations, and someone from either the Church of Satan or the Satanic Temple came in, and like people were trying to boo them and stuff like
their
that.
mind. Yes.
They stopped all invocations after that, because fair is only fair if it's fair to you. It's not fair if it's fair to other people.
And that's what Satanic Temple
that's
does
their
a
whole
lot.
shtick, right? Yeah,
that's their whole shtick.
I mean, they're like an opposition party thing, where they go and they say,
so
abortions are actually a satanic right, and we should be able to do them.
To say that he worships Satan and prays to Satan, while accusing me of taking things out of context, is just,
it's insane.
That's the icing on the cake. I have nothing else to add to this entire video.
I thought you'd love that. Like, oh, he's gonna love this. Hey, thanks for tuning in to today's show. I really hope you enjoyed it. Do me a favor and like and subscribe to the show and tell a friend. That helps us grow and it lets us keep bringing you more voices from the other side of belief. Until we talk again, be kind to one another and remember that reason and compassion go a long way.